over 18 Master Profis live. So I know the content pretty well. I very much enjoy it. And I am not only a coach of it, I'm a student of it. I actually apply that education, which we'll talk a little bit about today. I've been online marketing now for a little over 10 years. Now, it hasn't always been easy. There's been times where I've made a lot of money, and there's times where it's been lean. But of course, had I had the education we have in this great program, then I probably would have had that money working for me a lot sooner. I'm also an author. I wrote my first book in 2011. Finally got the courage to publish it in 2015. So it took me 4 years to pluck up the courage to publish that book. But it talks about monetizing your knowledge and different ways you can package it and how you can literally create multiple income streams from what you know. So that's a little bit about me. Now let's get into who we're about. So this gentleman on the screen right now is Andre Havrato. He is the visionary and genius behind Swig. Now he's long had an ambition. He's made built multiple six-figure businesses in the sorry, I'm getting dinging somewhere. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Has created multiple six-figure businesses in the multi-level space, and is an investor. I know exactly where that ding's coming from now. I got rid of it. And is a multidisciplinary investor. Now, one of his forays into network marketing, he found one of his mentors, they were making money on the side, but they weren't actually selling anything else. And he's like, well, what do you guys do to continue to get this money to grow? And they said, well, it's easy. We invest this money. We put this money into different projects that we think are going to give us a monetary return, which is essentially what investment is, right? Putting money into something, expecting a monetary return for it. So he learned from these people and he studied them because he could see that they were getting better and better off rather than the people that were just reliant on their network income. So he started to learn that. Now, he went through the cycles of learning and losing everything and learning and losing everything that a lot of people have been through. But now he's at the point where he's got what he needed to know and distilled everything he has, the knowledge that he's gained, into a number of different programs, the first of which was, of course, the Academy of Private Investor, which we'll talk a little bit about soon. But he got his money working for him and is now in a great position. So he is the author and creator of the Academy of Private Investor. He's a multidisciplinary investor and businessman, so he invests in multiple different market segments. He is the CEO of the Swig Group of companies. He's the author of the Crypto Unit program, which you'll hear a little bit more about tonight as well. He is the master of realizing dreams. Now, if you've seen the house that he has in Crimea, it overlooks the Black Sea. It's absolutely beautiful and stunning. He's done that through manifestation of his dreams. He's like, well, this is where I want to live. This is what I want it to look like. And he has gone out and created that simply from here. And we all have that very same possibility. He is the host of The Secret of Millionaires. So he literally interviews millionaires in Russia. And there's a TV series there that they created about that. He was the best business coach in the financial and investment personal development of 2018, according to the Mellon Rich magazine. Now, here's something that you might not have heard about yet. And you may have, if you'd seen a little live video from Mila a little bit earlier, you may have heard of it, but you may not. Andre has also just been named as one of the top 100 most influential people in Russia. There was a big ceremony about that yesterday. I'm sure we'll see more photos and things come out about that, but it is in a book. He's right up there with Vladimir Putin, Yuri Gagarin, which is, of course, the first Russian cosmonaut into space. So one of the most influential people in Russia, the top 100 influential people in Russia, which is awesome. He's the chairman of the Investment Council, the International Public Association, the World Association of Generals for Peace, World of Generals for Peace, and he's been awarded the Dove of Peace medal from the international organization as well. So definitely somebody that we can learn a lot from. Now, having a vast experience in investing in business, he decided to help 1 million people, which is where we are right now, okay? He decided that in 2011, he launched the Academy of Private Investor to distill his knowledge into the marketplace so that others could get ahead like he was as well. Now, his goal at that time was to create 1 million millionaires by putting this out into practice. And, you know, we're on our way to doing that. And of course, through that programming, he's had well over, before it changed its iteration, well over 100,000 graduates, which is really, really cool. There's a lot of programs around the world that can't boast those numbers. During that time, you know, he saw a lot of things come and go, but always wanted to start building that global portfolio, which was always his goal. And he got to start with a great little innovative transport product that came into the being and went, well, this is the way we start our portfolio, which we'll talk a little bit more about before as well. Now, he formulated the 8 rules of the private investor, which is key really to making the economic evolution of the world, or the new economic evolution of the world, work. And of course, it's an opportunity for anyone to become a co-owner in a global investment portfolio. Now, where most people fall over is that they don't get to a point where their knowledge, they can apply their knowledge in such a way to make it work for them, because they're too busy on the hamster wheel struggling to make that money to be able to, in order for them to free them up to be able to look at that. So what the new economic evolution of the world does, and what our system does, is it shows people how they can earn while they learn. So they'll literally start getting money coming in to be able to free up this so they can start learning what they need to know to be able to go out and do it for themselves, which I think is incredibly noble as well. So let's have a look now at the history of the new economic evolution of the world. Foundation date, of course, there it is the 15th to 9th, 2011, which was when the Academy of Private Investors started. Now, $1,500 knowledge, personal experience. It was Andre's knowledge and personal experience that was distilled into that program that enabled other people to go out and build it. Now, in 2014, SWIG was started, and of course, $26,000 was put into a global investment portfolio at that stage, and it literally started to grow. The customer base at that stage, 68,000 people. Now, obviously not all of the graduates from the Academy of Private Investor came across, but there's been well over 100,000 of those. And then, of course, you can see the other date there, the 30th of the 3rd this year, 2019, which was the start of the crypto unit program. Now, there was when we started that, it was worth the global portfolio was worth roughly around $12 million. And of course, we've gained more knowledge from that. We've put more personnel into it. And now we've got a customer base of, actually, it says there 540,000, but we actually have a customer base now of close to 750,000, which is, again, very, very exciting. Now, the turnover 2011 to 2014 was just over €1 million. So this just demonstrates the growth and continued growth that we have in the company, and it's been quite phenomenal. Between 2014 and 2019, just over $100 million. And if you look at the crypto unit program now, per day, around $7.7 million is being raised, which is, it's not to be sneezed at all. So we've created assets, again, the subscription base of 68,000 to start with at that time for the Academy of Private Investor, invested the portfolio of over $1 million. And of course, a customer base now, again, well over actually 700,000, about 745. They've invested in a portfolio of 12 million, which we knew earlier this year. And of course, now it's grown much, much bigger than that. It still says 12 million in that portfolio, but it's actually much, much higher than that, as we know. If we look at the value of the business, however, just under the Academy of Private Investor, we were looking at just over $1 million. The business was SWIG in 2014, just over $300 million. And if we look at today with the advent of the crypto unit program, we're just shy of $1 billion at $800 million value on the company. And it's, again, quite phenomenal. So if we look now at this may be new to some of you. It may be old hack. Okay, this is obviously Robert Kiyosaki made this incredibly famous. The Rich Dad Poor Dad, obviously the cash flow quadrant there. And if we look at it there, it's basically got two sides of the quadrant. And of course, there's 4 quarters. Now, the first one, a workman, basically you have a job, you go, you work. This is what society teaches us to do. This is what our education curriculum sets us up for. It sets us up to go to work, get good grades so that we can get a job and, pay our taxes and hopefully get good benefits with it and then go home, tend to our kids and die. Essentially what it is. Now, of course, you become an entrepreneur, which is still on the left-hand side of the quadrant there, an entrepreneur or a solopreneur for the most part, where you go out and start to build your own business. Now, you may have been a really, really good technician in your job as an employee, and you thought, hey, I could go out and I can do this myself and I can make some more money. Generally, this actually gives you more headaches than anything else because you're still limited by hours in the day and what you can personally do. Sure, you might start to employ a couple of people, but when you've only got 5 to 10 employees, they're probably more of a headache than when you've got 100 to 500. So if we look at the next one on the right-hand side of the quadrant, we start to look at business. You see businessmen there, but really that's a whole heap of systems put together. Now that would be considered any organization that is 500 people or more. That would be considered big business. You got systems in place and you can leverage those systems so that money can start coming into you that way. It's leveraged income. And then of course, where ultimately we would all like to get to, if we're really thinking about it correctly, is that last quadrant where we're starting to get our money to work for us. So we now got money in different parts of the investment world and different portfolios, if you like, that is starting to pay us. Now, some of these will be long-term, some of them will be short-term, some of them will be cash flow. Okay, and that's really, really important to have a bit of a balance of all of those, which is exactly what we have in our global portfolio. So now, guys, the rich get rich and the poor get poor. Okay, so there's a lot of things that are going on in the world right now. There's environmental pollution. Okay, now, whether we believe in climate change or we don't believe in climate change is irrelevant. There are things that we can do better in this world to create more sustainability. And we should definitely be looking towards those, which is something that our company does. It's innovations that our company starts to invest in so that we can get returns from it and make sure that these things get implemented. So that's very, very cool. Prices are rising, but salaries are not. Now, I saw something come through on Facebook the other day. It's not the first time I've seen it, but it was literally talking about, and it was from the US, literally talking about an F-150 truck. And it said, you know, in the 70s, an F-150 truck cost $4,500 and rent was $500 a week. And it was all of these different things, or $500 a month rather, all of these different things. And then it fast forwarded to today. Now, an F-150 truck's worth $60,000, but all of those other things, and rent had gone up. So all the living costs had gone up and the truck, but the salary hadn't increased that much, certainly not in parity. And this is going to happen a lot more. The other thing with that is that there's a lot more that comes into the bottom there. Robots will replace humans. There's a lot more automation with different jobs. I was at a restaurant. Okay, I was at McDonald's, right? So I was at McDonald's yesterday. We popped in and there's kiosks and there's like 3 or 4 staff and none of the tables are being cleaned because they have such skeleton staff because they're all being replaced with these kiosks with robots. This is going to happen more and more. Unemployment will rise, and when that does rise, people will start. There'll be looting and things going on when, when humanitarian things are happening. So this is what we can avoid with the new economic evolution of the world. And if we implement it right, we can actually avoid that last one, that revolution. We want it to be the evolution. Now, the difference between the two, evolution is bloodless, right? Revolution is not. There's been plenty of revolutions throughout time, and they all end in a loss of life, and we want to try and avoid that. So we've already mentioned the 8 rules of private investor a little bit earlier, and this is the basis for the bulk of all the rest of our education, if you like, because these things are fundamental. These things are key. So the first one is you need to know the difference between what financial independence and what financial freedom is. They might go, but Andrew, they're the same thing, but they're not. They're quite different. Financial independence is realistically having a specific amount of capital and being able to live X amount of years on that capital because it'll run out over time. Financial freedom is having that same capital but being able to add to it each year so that you continue to live indefinitely in the same lifestyle that you become accustomed to. Okay, you need to know the 5 commandments. I've actually done a few webinars just solely on the 5 commandments because they're incredibly important as well. You need a definite financial plan, so you need to define how it looks. Excuse me. You need to define how that looks. Not many people, in fact, 95% of people don't have a financial plan in place. They don't have anything written to say, well, this is what I'm going to do here. This is how I'm going to do it. This is what I intend to have at the end of it. Not many people do that. We don't put all our eggs in one basket. We want to diversify, okay? We want diversification, which is what our portfolio is about. We are in over 20 different market segments. And this is all of the things that you learn through Master Profi as well. We want to keep investment discipline because it's all good and well having the investment plan. If we've written our financial plan, it's great. Congratulations. But most people don't have the discipline to stick to what they've written. I mean, for years, I've read The Richest Man in Babylon a few times. I've heard it from different other financial coaches over the years. Put 10% of your money away. Make sure you pay yourself first, which, of course, is one of the 5 commandments. Make sure you pay yourself first. Put 10% away. And I did that, but I didn't have the discipline to keep doing that. And when things got tough and I needed to pay a bill, I'm like, well, I can just dip into that 10%. See, you need to have discipline, because without the discipline, it's all worth nothing. Don't be greedy, okay? Don't go, oh, I can have that and I can have that. I can do everything in moderation and your time will come. Now, I can attest to that one about greed as well, because I know I looked at a business years ago, then all I could see was just dollar signs going through my mind. And it ended up costing me everything at the time, so I know from experience, guys, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Always learn. So always learn, always continue to expand your subject matter, your knowledge. Go out and plug into different webinars or seminars or books, okay? You'll find that most highly effective CEOs read quite a lot of books every year, at least one a week, okay? Some people read 2 a day. I don't know how they do it, but they do, okay? Always increase your investment deduction. So make sure that you're putting more into your investment portfolios each and every week. Make sure you put that money aside each and every week to put into those things. So these are, we've looked now a little bit of the global portfolio. These are 20 sectors of the market that we're involved in. If you've already seen this webinar, then obviously you'll know these sectors that we're in. If not, obviously education, multi-level crowd investing. Education's a big one. Multi-level crowd investing, we are literally writing the playbook on that. We are developing that sector. We're the first to do it. I doubt we'll be the last, because it is very innovative, but we do have a first mover's advantage, so to speak. Sector of equity participation in businesses. Now, we're already starting to do that with the different businesses that we own. I mean, we're co-owners in a Sushi Master franchise throughout Europe. We have gold mines. We're co-owner in a basalt technology company, meaning that essentially anything that's produced in carbon fiber, we can replace with this technology, which is very, very exciting. And of course, it goes right through the traditional ones as well. And of course, some not so traditional. Another one that we're in, precious metal sector. We've already said we've got gold mines, precious stones. We're in diamond manufacturing, which I think is incredibly exciting. And of course, one that is very close to my heart there is the last one, which is charity. You know, we're obviously conducting that and contributing on a global scale too, which is pretty cool. So what's already been implemented, SWIG is already in over 111 different countries around the world. In fact, it's actually more than that. But we all support the new economic evolution of the world. Now, this is where every piece of commerce that you do, you'll get a reward from. So imagine, most of us probably had a coffee at some stage today. We might have bought it somewhere. Imagine getting paid for drinking that coffee, or at least getting a discount on it and knowing you're going to get something come back into your back pocket. And then imagine that you've shared that with your friends who aren't necessarily involved in this yet, but they got a discount too, but you also got some money in your back pocket. And all of a sudden they said, hey, how are you doing that? Can I do it too? This is, once we hit that point, it'll grow by itself, which is incredibly exciting. We do have over 740,000 partners in our organization right now. Now I can verify that. I saw that in Andre's back office last week, which is very exciting to see that. And we do have over 137 million invested at the moment. Our portfolio has grown phenomenally, and it's incredibly exciting to see what's going on with that. So just a few of the companies that we are already involved with. You can see there on the screen, obviously property. We're in some personal investment funds. We are involved in SWIG, in Skyway as well. Excuse me, sorry. Film industry, that's a very, very exciting one. And for those people who were at Eventi, you would have seen Dragon Man, which of course Andre actually helped to create that character, which is quite exciting as well. But you can see we're involved in a lot of the traditional things, but then not so traditional also, which is pretty cool. Now, who controls this portfolio? Who makes sure that it grows each and every month in, month out? Well, there's two people that are responsible for that. We've already met one of the players, which of course is our CEO, Andre Havrato. We don't need to introduce him again, but then of course we've got Igor Romanenko, who is the chief portfolio controller, if you like. He used to be the chief financial officer for the company, but he's been moved over to look after specifically now just the portfolio, because it's grown to a point where he can no longer do the CFO role as well. So we do have a new CFO, which is exciting. A few of you will know her, and I'm sure that will come out very, very soon. But of course, Eagle now is looking after specifically the portfolio. And it does say their CFO and portfolio manager. He has moved out of that role of CFO and specifically now manages the portfolio. And he has a team around him looking for different vehicles that we can add to this portfolio each and every other day. And if you've got if you've got things that you want to look at that, then there's representatives in your area. Start with your local council if you've met them yet, if they've been announced. If not, then obviously get in touch with the persons or persons who are on the leadership council in your area. Now, I do know that the local councils will be announced in the next few days, if not week, and you'll know who the people are that you should talk to first to get up to be able to talk to getting something added to the portfolio, which is the right way to go about it. Of course, he started as a graduate too of the Academy of Private Investor, and he's also self-made from the education that he put into place, or that he has put into place. And some very, very exciting things happening there for all of us. So the crypto unit program, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't already know, and I guess there's probably quite a few of us that do, is the place that's going to really ignite that new economic evolution of the world. It gives everybody the opportunity to become a co-owner and a shareholder of a global investment portfolio. So normally I'll play the video, but most of us has probably seen it, and I'll be honest, you won't hear the sound on it, so it won't make much sense. So we're just going to get into this next one right here. So what you get out of the crypto unit program, ladies and gentlemen, is access to training courses. Now, these training courses were obviously originally delivered in Russian, and they are still in the process of being translated, a few of them. They will be translated to all languages, but at the moment they're still being translated to English, and there's already been some done into Italian and Spanish as well. But they are being worked on as we speak. Obviously, global investment portfolio ownership, which is important. And now you know you're getting access each and every month to what am I looking for? To the reports each and every month, where Eagle will come and let you know how the portfolios have been performing, or how it has been performing, okay? To see what market segments we've got involved in, to see which ones are performing better than others, but basically to offer full transparency to you as to what is actually happening. It's an opportunity to receive dividend income. That's in the long term. That's once we've gone through all the regulations and securities and all that sort of thing. Right now, you have the opportunity to receive bonus profit income, which is an exciting prospect. It's something that you'll get paid each and every month. And of course, the loyalty program as well, which is still in very much in full swing. You'll see the growth of the crypto unit. Now, it's already grown. For those people that have been involved since March, will have already seen some growth in that time. And you do have an asset on your hand right there. Of course, STO investment form, the way in which we do that and the way it rolls out, they're literally talking about that again in Russia right now, probably as we're delivering this webinar, to be honest, because that was happening a little bit earlier. So they're making sure that that's done the right way. And by the sounds of it, there's some very, very exciting things coming out from that. Of course, audit control to make sure that everything is above board and as we said it is. And it's third-party audits that are coming in through that, which is very, very cool. Free circulation of the crypto unit and global merchandising. Guys, these are all phases that are happening within the crypto unit program. We're getting very, very close now to this free circulation of the crypto unit too, which is going to be exciting for a lot of people. It means that you can really start to see things be tangible in front of your eyes, which is incredibly important. So now the new economic evolution of the world, it is aimed at making the world a better place for everyone, okay? The opportunity for people to become, hey, Dong, how you doing, man? The opportunity for people to become co-owners and really make the most of it. Now, there's never been an opportunity like this before on such a global scale, where it literally has the opportunity to bring prosperity for all of those who get involved in it, no matter how big or small you get involved in it, because depending on where you are, the economic climate, the socio-economic climate, wherever you are, whatever you can afford to put in that place will likely be something that will bring you back something very, very handsome in the future. Of course, we've got to look at social problems, social indifferences, and make sure that we get on top of those ecological issues in and around the world that we can start to address. And I spoke about that a little bit earlier. Of course, we know there's things we can do for a better, more sustainable future, and these are the things that we need to start to look at and we are through our company, which is really, really cool. Develop the consciousness. Yeah, we can do that, and we will do that. But it's also what it does, and I can attest to this. When it's easier, this thing here can free up so you can start thinking about different things. Now, I just asked the question of the people in the Netherlands while I was speaking to them, and give me a 1 here if you can. Sound double? Not clear? Sorry, we can't do much about it at the moment. Hopefully it's fixed itself up. It could be the internet. So I'm going to ask you a question now. Who remembers as a child, right, when you were at school, or even before you got to school, remembering dreaming as a child? Remember in the chat for me. Have I frozen again? Yes, Sharon, thank you. Yes, I've frozen, or yes, you remember having big dreams. Guys, if you can remember having big dreams, there's another one. Remember having big dreams as a child, then please put a 1 in the chat. Yep, I do. 1. A lot of 1s. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Now, be really, really honest with yourself. If you're living those dreams right now, and there's nothing else you would change, and not do. If not, give me a 3. The question was, Maureen, if you're living those dreams that you had as a child, right now you wouldn't change a thing. You don't want for anything else. You've got enough money every week. Give me a 2. If not, give me a 3. Yeah. What I thought, guys. So, society conditions us to start thinking. 5. Society starts conditioning us from a very young age to think in a different way, and it takes us away from those dreams that we had. So we want to try and come back to that. So we're going to develop our own consciousness again to get ourselves to that level where we can literally do that. And then, of course, investing in the right companies is going to help with that as well. Okay, so guys, the educational information products that we get them, obviously, EIPs. This is our main product. Okay, we sell education. That is literally what we do. Everything else is a bonus. So this is what we need to remember when we're talking to people, is that our value proposition comes from the education that we have. Because literally, if you put this education into practice, and you don't even, Murphy is great. Master Profit, absolutely. You'll get it all in a condensed version, and you'll get it live, which is great. But there's nothing stopping you from getting into the education that you've got there online and starting to implement it now. And those that have done that throughout this company have literally created financial freedom for themselves before anything else that has come off, i.e. the Skyway or any of the portfolio stuff. Before that happened, they'd created freedom for themselves simply by investing them to the education that they brought. Okay, so get it in there. Obviously, the uniqueness with the crypto unit program is that you actually get that training, show you how to make the most of the bonus profits you get, the loyalty payments you get. For most people, those loyalty payments and bonus profit payments, if you use the education and implemented that and put them into something, that would create financial freedom for you very, 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 very quickly. So make sure that you plug into that, guys. It's really, really important. Benefits right now, guys, with multi-level crowd investing industry, or our business model, if you like, is that there is a very, very good bonus structure. Okay, you can literally make a lot of money by sharing with other people. The education that you're sharing is priceless. Imagine that what somebody could do with that if they implement it. And I know of people that have, and you guys know a lot of people as well, that have implemented this and have literally created financial freedom for themselves. So another advantage that we have, ladies and gentlemen, is that the increase of the crypto will continue to go up. And as soon as we start hitting to that that global market, if you like, it will start to skyrocket. You have unlimited amount of instant income through the through the network program. So by going out and marketing this, sharing this with other people, it's a traditional but a legitimate every month. There's loyalty payments come up based on how the crypto unit goes for that month. And of course, there's an opportunity for you to receive, and it says dividend, and long term it will be. However, right now you'll receive a bonus profit income as well. Now, guys, this can be quite substantial. Both of those, the loyalty program and the bonus profit, can be quite substantial. But we still need to go out and work the business. And of course, you can have an international business inside your own home. I mean, literally, I was standing in my office earlier tonight on a conference or a live stream into a conference in the Netherlands. I have an international business. I'm in Australia right now. I was in the Netherlands via a live stream link. So, guys, we have a very, very cool business and a great opportunity ahead of us. So, the new economic evolution of the world has already reached the planet, ladies and gentlemen. 2019 has been a huge year, and I can tell you that 2020 is going to be even bigger. We've had multiple conferences in multiple different places. There's been South Africa, there's the Netherlands, there's another one on there at the moment, there's London, Nigeria. UAE. Just look at the countries that were leading in September. I did try and find October to update you on these, but I do have the September $85,000 in ninth. We had Russia with just under $1 million. Hey guys, can you hear me now? I just dropped out. You gotta love the broadband here in Australia. No sound? Maybe I haven't muted myself. No, should have sound. Not much you can do about the sound. It's obviously internet connection. I'm sorry. Can't hear me? Thanks, Ainsley. Okay, guys, Italy had $962,000. Next one there. Oman, just over $1 million, which was very, very cool, getting into that 7-figure bracket. Indonesia in 6th for September. Excuse me. Just over $1 million. Australia in 5th at 1.39. Up about 1. Vietnam 1.8 in 3rd place. We had Australia made it in there twice. 1.9. So I'm not sure who that Australia is in 5th. Obviously wasn't us. We did have 1.9, and then in India was in 1st place and $4.5 million. Right, guys, some of our success stories that we've had shall prove. Obviously, Maxim Issip is a name you may have seen, might have seen. He started in the coal industry. He got out and he started working with this program, and he's a president in the company. He works throughout the Ukraine, and he has reached full financial independence. Got Armand across the top as well. He's one of the people that's talking hotel business as a porter. Now, if you ever get to talk to Armand about that, it's entertaining. You know, he learned to say a few different things in different languages. You learned to say, "Thank you, please. Can I take your bags?" All these sorts of things. And he made a lot of through he worked as an electrician, still a very young man himself. He started in London, and now he is in the President's Council with the company representative for Italy, and he has partners all over the world. Okay, we also have Jamila in there. She's been a housewife for 15 years, and today she is a president in our partner program and is the head of the Asian development for the company. So guys, questions that you need to ask yourself. Do you want to change your life? Do you want to provide a decent future for your grandchildren and your children? And do you want financial independence? Guys, we can do this together. The new economic solution of the world is literally right now within our grasp. We have the opportunity. All we've got to do is people is that they want to achieve in the world. And that's as simple as it is. Want to achieve. Don't be attached to the outcome. You're talking to someone. If somebody says no, that's okay. Just simply ask, all right, if we keep with you, if I keep in touch with you. Because I can almost guarantee that they're going to continue watching you anyway. Most people watch you for one of two reasons. One, certainly in this part of the world, because they want to see you fall on your face. And two, if you do succeed, you don't want to be left behind. They want to be taken with you. So keep in touch with those people and don't have any attachment to the outcome that comes from it. Just go out there and share the opportunity, but find out what people want. Find out what their desires are, what their dreams are. Because if you can help fulfill those desires and dreams, if you can get them in touch with that inner child, then you'll start to have better conversations. One, because you'll enjoy it more too, because you'll be having fun. And two, because they'll be able to touch base with that dream that they had as a child. So ladies and gentlemen, that does bring us pretty much to the end of this slideshow. If you do have any questions though, now would be a really, really good time to ask it. We can take those in the chat. If you've got any questions, just type them in the chat and see if I can get them answered for you. I don't know that it'll make much difference to the sound, but we'll try it. Because I'm not talking at the moment, Krista. Are there questions, or are we just going to say that the sound's better? Because that's cool. You getting up? Do a presentation on what's happening, what we've done with that. So where we've grown, how much we've grown. You know, if we've taken a loss somewhere, then you'll find out all about that. And of course, the profit bonus. I think that may get voted on each month for what we what percentage we want. I think this month was the full 35% was paid out. So yes, and answer your question, every month that will happen. Thanks, Sharon. Probably could use an improvement, but it's a start. Thank you. Yeah, John, I have noticed that, my friend. It is very upsetting to see. So we all have to be diligent. So what John said is there's a lot of people cross-sponsoring people this week for another company. We're always going to have this problem, unfortunately, and particularly now in the online world that we have. So, you know, old days where it was really, but of course, once you're a friend with someone on online, then they can. And I know there's people that are actually out there aggressively going and but you don't even need to be that obtrusive about it now. People will actually just ask questions. So unfortunately, yes, mate, they do lose focus. And now I've chosen to only work with people that are working on Swig full time, not full time, but not promoting anything else. Full presentation video update. Can you expand on that, please, Martin? I'm not sure what you mean. Yes, Ainsley, no problem. This is actually in the back office now, this presentation. Thanks for the challenges. There'll be somebody here at Techno that'll be able to help you with that, mate. Thanks, Tiana. Great to see you the other day. Yeah, absolutely. Yenzo, agree 100%, mate. Yeah, absolutely. No worries, Maureen. It's getting late here too. Have a good evening, good day, wherever you are. Yeah, nice one, John. I'm on with you. Clear now. Okay. I think Telstra did slowing our internet on purpose because they're trying to get us to upgrade to the super fast. What do they call it? Leon, absolutely, man. I do involved with new is significant. For a number of reasons. I see it as significant vision of a global portfolio that will actually pay and look after people. The other is because it gives people faith. And come back to your question. And it shows that the new is actually possible and can. So I see it as very, very significant. Yeah, all those people that are asking. In fact, it is. We're doing Q&A. Not at this stage, Paul. I can't see the express qualification being brought back. This actually was discussed in the President's Council the other day, and I can tell you the majority of the President's Council were against bringing it back. Certainly in the format that it was. It may alter slightly the way the marketing plan works, but don't quote me on that just yet. It may change, but it's going to come back in that format. Yeah, absolutely, Sharon. I agree with you 100%. Sakshi, I would, but I forgot to press record, so sorry, I can't. And I couldn't. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, vegan, Ben. Yes, actually, that's it, mate. Sorry. Yes, good point, Annie. These presentations are going to be regular every week, which is awesome. And there's also going to be regular trainings run as well. So make sure you stay plugged into the calendars in the back office so that you can see what's going on when it's happening, so that you can plug into the webinars. I know that every region is starting to develop their own as well, and I can speak from the meeting that we had the other day that we will be talking a little bit more about next week with local council, is that there's big plans in Australia and New Zealand and Malaysia for what's about to happen as well. Yes, Sharon, as I said, it may change, but the format that the express qualification was, no, it was voted that it would not be released. I don't know the full breakdown of the 100 Murraysville, so that's probably the Skyway stuff we started with too. We are doing something that's never been done before. Absolutely, Ian, agreed. Annie's